was it as incredible as I remember? It's the best of the first 5 of the MCU. It's so far in this marathon, it is my favorite, more so than Iron Man. I do think, personally for me, it is better than Iron Man, and I just seriously, I love this film. It actually, an unpopular opinion, I like it a lot more than The Winter Soldier, and I know that's very unpopular, but that's just where I stand. Maybe it's because I have a love for the old-timey aesthetic of the period piece look, but it's not only such a beautiful film, it's such a great character film for Captain America. He is my favorite Avenger. Now, I know a lot of people, Iron Man is their favorite Avenger, but I would agree that he is the coolest Avenger, but Captain America is the best Avenger. And this film shows it. It shows where he comes from, his determination, his passion for fighting for what's right, standing up for the little guy, which I think we can all get behind, and how it's really a good message, you know, standing up against bullies and all that, as well as the oppressors of real life. It's really great. It's one of the best in the MCU. I think it is one of my favorite superhero films ever made, honestly. It is just that good. Now, I don't like it more than Civil War, but it's damn near. It's just that good, man. I love the acting that Chris Evans brought, whom we mainly knew as a comedy guy before this. Even when he was in a superhero role, he was the Human Torch, who was always, you know, very humorous. Whereas with Captain America, he really brought his acting chops, and I was really appreciative of that. I think Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes was really great. I actually, every time Bucky dies, I always forget it's gonna happen, even though I know he becomes the Winter Soldier. In the moment when you're watching, you forget he's gonna fall off that train, and I got to commemorate a film for that, to get you lost in the story, that you forget all the things you know, even though you've already seen it. I also gotta say, I love Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. She did phenomenal. I always love seeing her character, and I think her and Chris Evans have amazing chemistry. It is my favorite romance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love Tommy Lee Jones as the drill sergeant. That was perfect casting for an MCU role. Stanley Tucci was really great as well as the German scientist, and I gotta give props to Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. I honestly think he's one of the better villains in the MCU. He may not be the greatest, I still think that goes to Loki. I'm sure Thanos is gonna be better than him, no doubt, but when it comes to other villains like Ironmonger, who is pretty decent, and even Whiplash is pretty decent, I think Red Skull is up there with being above average in the MCU. Now, I know it may not be saying much, but honestly, he is a solid foe. Even though we don't focus too much on his character, you do get the gist of this guy and how he wants to take over the world and why he's obsessed with power. And I think you have to give the most props to Hugo Weaving for pulling off this role. It's such a great performance, and the makeup is beautiful. The whole aesthetic of the film is gorgeous. It really is. I love how the different planes, motorcycles, and that weird spinny machine that Red Skull escaped in, like all of these vehicles that wouldn't really be possible that they made for this film look like that if they were made in the 40s, it actually looks like it was made in that time period, and I have to appreciate that. I don't know what more to say other than, if you haven't watched it in a while, make sure you go treat yourself, because it is such a beautiful film. I also love the music. I thought the music was really great, how it captured the 40s aesthetic of the musical type, while also bringing a beautiful score to Captain America. And it was done by Alan Silvestri, who did the music for the Avengers, and is coming back for Avengers Infinity War, which I'm very excited about. I'm also excited to hear his score in Ready Player One later this year. And of course, in case you forgot, he did the music for Back to the Future, so obviously this man is a legend. He's not John Williams, but you know, he's kind of close, especially for creating the Avengers theme, which, oh my god, we're about to touch on the Avengers, and it's just gonna get better and better from here. So I forgot to bring up while recording that the end credit scene, it was really cool, because it's not a traditional end credit scene. It actually is a trailer for the Avengers. Now, it does have a scene starting out before the main teaser, but it's a scene that comes in the Avengers film. Kind of like what you got at the end of Doctor Strange, how it is a shorter scene that gets extended in Thor Ragnarok. But this was really cool because it is essentially, if it wasn't already released to the public, your first look at the Avengers, which is really spectacular. Now, there's no big major shots. I'm sure it was very early in production. Like, everything you see is very practical. There's not a lot of visual effects. You see the Iron Man suit, and you can tell it's only the upper half just standing there. Now Thor throws his hammer, they got a little special effect there at the end, but it was really cool to see, and it really brings up the hype. So obviously it's amazing, it's the Avengers, it's on their way, it ends with Captain America will return in the Avengers, and that just creates all the hype. I'm definitely looking forward to this continuing of the MCU Marathon, the Infinity War Challenge. So guys, make sure you come back at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday for a new film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We are tackling the Avengers next. I am very excited for that. If you guys enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already. And seriously, go watch Captain America the First Avenger again. You won't regret it. And that being said, guys, hope you have a great day. May the Force be with you, always.